I used to blow dry my hair the exact same way for 11 years, and wonder why nobody looked at me twice anymore. It wasn't my face. It wasn't my age. It was 4 specific hairstyle habits quietly adding years to how people read me the second I walked into a room. Today I'm walking you through the 4 biggest hairstyle mistakes women over 50 make without realizing it, and exactly what to do instead, detail by detail, so you can fix this by tonight. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The blow-dry habit that's flattening your whole look. Here's the part nobody warns you about. The way you've been blow-drying your hair for the last 20 years might be the single biggest reason it looks thinner and older than it actually is. Not the color. Not the cut. The direction of the airflow. Most women over 50 dry their hair pointing the dryer straight down at the roots, flat against the scalp, because that's what saves time. It feels efficient. But drying straight down presses the cuticle flat and pins the roots to the scalp before they ever get the chance to lift. The result is hair that looks thin from the front. Even when there's plenty of density back there, it's just lying down. You've probably noticed it without naming it. You catch your reflection in a store window, and your hair looks smaller than you remember it feeling that morning. That's not your imagination. That's root direction working against you every single day. Here's the recognition moment. If you've ever flipped your head upside down after a shower just to wake it up, you already know instinctively that lift matters. You just haven't been doing it on purpose, every time, as part of the actual drying process. The fix is one change. Dry your roots at an upward angle, not a downward one. Section the crown, lift each piece with your fingers so it's standing slightly away from the scalp, and direct the airflow from underneath and behind the section rather than straight down onto it. You're training the hair to dry in the position you want it to hold, not the position gravity puts it in by default. This works because hair dries into whatever shape it's held in during that final drying phase. It's basically setting, the same way wet cement holds whatever shape it's in when it hardens. If it dries flat, it holds flat all day no matter how much product you add afterward. If it dries lifted, it holds lift, and no amount of flat ironing later can undo a good root set. Do this for just the first 5 minutes at the roots. You don't need to change how you dry the rest of the hair, just that first section. Start with the crown, since that's the area doing the most visual work when it comes to how full or thin your hair reads from across a room. And here's the part that actually changes how people see you. Root lift doesn't just add volume. It changes the angle your whole face is framed at. Flat roots pull the eye down and forward, which drags on the face. Lifted roots open up the space above your forehead, which is the exact opposite effect. It reads as alert, awake, put together, even before anyone registers your hairstyle at all. People will start saying you look rested, and they won't know why. That's the snapback moment. It's not a compliment about sleep. It's a compliment about root direction. I want to tell you something I noticed doing this research. Almost every after photo in a hairstylist's transformation portfolio has one thing in common that has nothing to do with cut or color. The root angle is always lifted. Every single time. It's the quiet detail stylists rely on because it works on literally every hair type, length, and texture, and it costs nothing. The before is flat roots pressed down against the scalp, drying into that position for years without you ever choosing it on purpose. The after is roots lifted at a gentle upward angle during just the first 5 minutes of drying, holding shape and openness through the whole day. But root direction is only half the story, because there's a second habit sitting right next to it that's doing almost as much damage, and it's one most women think is actually helping. Part 2. Why your middle part might be working against you. This one surprised even me when I first read the research behind it. The part in your hair, the literal line where it separates, has a bigger effect on how old you look than your actual haircut does. And most women over 50 are wearing the exact part that ages them the most. Dead center, straight down the middle. A centered part creates a perfectly symmetrical curtain on both sides of the face. And symmetry sounds like it should be flattering, but it isn't here. It boxes the face unevenly on both sides, which flattens the natural angles of the cheekbones and jaw and makes the whole face read wider and more static. It's not that center parts are wrong on everyone. It's that as the face changes shape with age, A dead center part stops working with it and starts working against it. If you've worn a center part for years because it's simple and it's what you know, you're not alone. It's the most common part in the country, at every age. But simple isn't the same as flattering. And this is one of those things nobody ever sits you down and tells you directly. The fix is a deep side part, angled a couple of inches off center, not just a subtle shift. A true deep side part does two things a center part can't. It creates asymmetry, which naturally draws the eye in a more dynamic, youthful way, and it lets one side fall slightly across the forehead, which softens the hairline and adds instant movement to the whole style. This is the single fix stylists reach for first in almost any instant refresh appointment, because it requires no cutting, no color, and takes about 30 seconds with a comb. To find your best deep side part your damp hair roughly 2 to 3 inches off center, and comb it flat in that direction before you dry anything. Let it set in that position during drying. Same principle as the root lift, the part holds where it dries. Once it's dry, you can loosen it slightly with your fingers so it doesn't look severe, just angled. Here's the snapback result, and it's a bigger shift than the size of the change would suggest. A deep side part changes the geometry of your entire face in one move. It lengthens the appearance of the forehead on the side with less hair, adds width and softness on the side with more, and breaks up the flat symmetry that was making your features read as static. People tend to describe this as looking softer, or more done, even when literally nothing else changed. That's the part doing the work. I want to give you a specific example, because vague advice doesn't stick. A woman I came across during this research had worn a center part for over 15 years, since her 30s. She switched to a deep side part with zero other changes, same cut, same color, same everything, and said in her own words that people at her gym started asking if she'd done something. She hadn't touched a single thing besides where the hair separated. The before is a straight, dead center part sitting the same way it has for years, boxing the face in evenly on both sides. The after is a deep side part, angled 2 to 3 inches off center, softening the hairline and adding real asymmetry back into the whole look. Now there's a third mistake, and this one isn't about how you style your hair at all. It's about a single length decision most women make and never revisit. Part 3. The length you're holding on to that's not helping. Somewhere around 50, a lot of women make a quiet decision to keep their hair exactly the length it's always been, usually somewhere past the shoulders, because it feels like the one constant they've held on to through everything else changing. I understand the instinct completely, but past a certain point, that same length that once felt youthful starts pulling the whole face down instead of framing it. Long, one-length hair past the shoulders does something specific as skin loses some of its elasticity along the jaw and neck. It adds visual weight exactly where you don't want it, dragging the eye downward and emphasizing the lower face and neck area rather than lifting attention up toward the eyes and cheekbones. It's not that long hair is wrong. It's that all one length, with no shape built into it, stops doing any actual work for your face. If you've ever pulled your hair back into a low ponytail just to get it off your face, without quite knowing why it felt better that way, that's your instinct already telling you the length is doing too much work with too little shape. You don't need to cut it short. The fix is face framing layers cut specifically around the front, starting around chin to collarbone length at the shortest point, and blending back into the rest of the length. This isn't the same as an all-over layered cut, which can thin out fine hair. It's targeted. Layers only at the front, framing the jaw and cheekbones, while the back stays at whatever length you're keeping. Ask for the layers to start no higher than the cheekbone, and to hit somewhere between the chin and collarbone, angled so they curve slightly inward toward the jaw rather than falling straight down. That inward curve is what does the actual lifting. It draws a soft line along the jaw instead of a heavy straight one running past it. Here's the result that actually surprises people. Face framing layers don't shorten your hair in any noticeable way from the back, but they completely change how your face reads from the front. The soft curve along the jaw does the opposite of the heavy one-length drag. It lifts attention up toward the eyes and cheekbones instead of letting it fall past the jaw and down the neck. Several women describe this exact cut as taking years off without anyone being able to say exactly what changed. That's because nothing about the length changed. Only the shape around the face did. This is genuinely one of the most requested cuts in salons for women over 50 right now, and it's requested precisely because it solves this problem without asking anyone to give up the length they've worked hard to grow and keep. The before is one uniform length with no shape at the front, pulling the eye down past the jaw and toward the neck. The after is soft, chin to collarbone face framing layers curving inward, lifting the eye back up toward the cheekbones and eyes. There's one more mistake left, and it's the one I almost didn't include because it sounds so small, but it might be doing more damage than the other three combined. Part 4. The color mistake hiding in plain sight. I saved this one for last on purpose, because it's the mistake most women don't even think of as a hairstyle issue at all. They think of it as a color issue, and that's exactly why it keeps getting missed. It's not about which shade you choose. It's about where the color sits in relation to your face. Flat, single-process color applied evenly from root to end does something almost nobody accounts for. It removes the natural variation that used to exist in your hair when you were younger, and that variation was doing quiet, important work. Natural hair almost never grows in one uniform shade. There were always subtle lighter and darker pieces catching light differently, and that variation is what gave hair dimension and made it look alive rather than flat. All over single-process color erases that completely, and flat color reads as older, not because gray is aging, but because flatness is. If you've ever looked at an old photo of yourself and felt like your hair looked brighter back then, even in black and white, that's not nostalgia talking. That's dimension you used to have and don't currently have, and it's fixable in one appointment. The fix is asking specifically for face-framing highlights or baby lights placed only around the hairline and part, rather than a full head of color. You're not changing your overall shade at all. You're reintroducing the natural light and dark variation, right where it matters most, which is the section closest to your skin. This is a completely different request than highlights in general, so be specific with your colorist. Framing pieces only, concentrated at the part and hairline, blending back into the base color everywhere else. The reason this works so precisely is that the hair closest to your face reflects light directly onto your skin. Flat color there creates a flat, even cast across the whole face. Dimensional color there creates small shifts of light and shadow that do for your face what good makeup contouring does. Soften edges, add life, catch the eye in a way that looks effortless rather than done. Here's the snapback moment on this one, and it's the biggest of all 4 fixes. Colorists will tell you privately that face framing dimension does more for how fresh someone looks than a full color change ever does, because it's working directly against the one thing flat color can't fix on its own. It can't move light around your face. Dimension can. That's the whole secret hiding inside a hair color conversation that most women assume is only about shade. Put all 4 of these together: lifted roots, a deep side part, soft face framing layers, and dimensional color at the hairline. And you're not looking at 4 small tweaks anymore. You're looking at a completely different first impression, built entirely from adjustments to hair you already have, in the length and color you already chose. Nothing about who you are changed. Only how the light moves around your face did. The before is flat, single-process color with no variation anywhere near the face. The after is soft face framing highlights placed only at the hairline and part, catching light and adding dimension exactly where it matters most. So here's where that leaves you. For small, specific changes, the angle you dry your roots at, where your part sits, soft layers framing your jaw, and dimension placed right at your hairline. And every single one of them works with the hair you already have, not against it. You don't need a dramatic haircut or a total color overhaul to look years fresher by next week. You need direction, not drama. Which one of these 4 surprised you the most, the root lift, the part switch, the layers, or the color placement? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. Next week I'm covering the exact makeup placement mistakes that are quietly doing the same thing to your eyes that flat color does to your whole face. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.